Hello and welcome to Thehayteamtv, and there's more bad news. So after all the repairs that we've done in the shed, we got a new one. Well, obviously the computer's still not operating perfectly, and now we've done this. Can you tell what that is just by looking at that bit? This is one of the needles. One of the needles decided to shear off. Now, it's not an out of time thing because else both of them will be gone. But this one is obviously hit something hard and made it fracture, and it is come off. So we got a new one of these coming for Tuesday, which will then fit and get up and going again. But that is the original needle. So that needle has done so many repetitions. It is unreal. So we can't moan at it at all, right? It's just one of those things. That's just sheer wear and tear. Llama was good. I enjoyed Llama. Hope you all enjoy Llama. I've had a few messages. If you see me or HRS, he might disagree because he's grumpier. But you're welcome to come speak to us. Yeah, so honestly, don't ever think that we'll feel put out or anything. If you see us out and about, whether it's Llama, a show of some description, you're welcome, all of you, to come and say hello. I'm not that big and scary, I don't think. I think I'm pretty approachable. HRS is probably least approachable, but he is well up for a chat too. And Alex, if you get used to Alex will talk to all of you forever and ever and ever, because we can't get Alex to stop talking. But those of you that I did talk to, awesome, nice meeting you all. There's a couple of messages that I saw, or questions I saw in the last video, which I thought I would tackle whilst talking to you all on here rather than typing it. So even though I've answered this question like many times, Nigel Gribble sent a message on the question. Why don't we use conditioners or want to use conditioners? One, first and foremost, price. You put conditioners in a mower and it is literally doubles, if not more, the price of the mower. It's like just a scary amount of money. Whatever machinery we buy in, basically you've got to offset that to the price of the product that you're putting out. So if you can keep your machinery down, but the price of the product almost where you would factor in conditioners, think of it as saving yourself money. Does that make sense? Without having to make more money to basically pay it off. So there's one. Two, weight. Not that the fast tracks couldn't handle heavier mowers, but just why. We've got a lot of wetty ground that we just don't need that extra weight. And you can argue that, yeah, but when your mower deck is on the deck, that weight is distributed and it's not completely on the tractor. But when you turn on your headland, and we've got quite a few areas where we've got wet headlands, we'd end up just chewing it up. So weight, number two. Number three, we have found in the last 15 years that conditioners, and we've had a lot of conditioner mowers, conditioners don't make as much difference for grass drying faster than basically not putting down nitrogen fertilizer. You don't put down nitrogen fertilizer, the plant just isn't that sappy, basically, if that makes sense. So it dries faster naturally through not being sappy. And then finally, the last point is, by not putting all the money into triples with conditioners and everything on them, we've been able to basically jump to 40-foot tedders. Rather than just having one 40-foot tedder, we can have two. So if you think about it, if we want to condition it, we send out two 40-foot tedders, right, and just blast through it. But most of the time we don't have to worry about it. We like to leave it in a row before we ted for a while. I'm not talking ages, I'm talking like 10 to 12 hours, because ideally that gives the ground time to lose a layer or an amount of moisture, making it harder and easier for us basically to get kit on the ground. Yes, occasionally we go straight in behind mowers. It all depends on what the conditions are at the time. As for a Bale Baron, Bale Baron, well suited to flat areas, big fields, and if you've got one of the ones that it can follow up to like 2 to 3 balers, you can have a single one on the tractor, or you can have the ones that are just fit behind the baler, but then that's extra cost. But more importantly, the way the bale barron's set up down here, we're literally on rooftops on most of it. We don't have a lot of flat ground, so we would have problems with a bale barron trying to take off sideways past the baler. I'm sure someone's going to tell me, oh, I know someone that uses it on really steep ground. That's fine, but we can't justify that much money to go do it out in the field in the area that we're in. Like, we can grow grass like crazy. We got a moor over there, we got a valley here, we catch rain all the time. Even in the last couple of years where we've had droughts, we've just caught rain, we haven't droughted, and we've kept growing grass. Admittedly, you know, not to the extent that you would do in a nice humid wet year, but we are able to basically make a lot of grass all the time. Bale barron for us, baling out the field, also can't justify it for the time it takes. If you had a bunch, 2 or 3 of them, like I follow loads of them in America, and they've got like maybe 4 balers going, and then a self-propelled bale barron, and you know, it's totally different world. Great big flat areas, or gently sloping fields, like ever so gently. You know, we can go on stuff that's 45 degrees. It just don't quantify the health and safety matter, whether it's me driving or someone else is driving it. It's not worth it. If you've got a round baler or just a big baler on the back of a tractor, it's easier than having baler, bale barron. Even if I had the bale barron on the back of a tractor, it's a fairish bit of kit, and it's high, like it's really tall. So your centre of gravity and your centre of mass is going to be all over the shop on some of the places where you've got to go with it. When we bring everything into the factory, we can keep an eye on quality control. We can see what bales are good, what bales are bad, if there's been anything like that. Making in big bales, it's easier to make product. If you get a little hole in a small bale of haylage, that bale's gone. It's done. You get a little small prick in a great big bale, when we unwrap it, we just rip that little piece off, bin it, and you've got a perfectly usable amount of product that we can just change into small bales. And it's the same with hay. Like small bale hay, you've got to stick in a great big stack for it to make properly. If you have a lone big round bale, big square bale, and it didn't go in the stack, inside that bale is still going to be really nice hay, just through sheer mass of product stuck together. So it's all got its like benefits. Like, arguably, I totally agree. If we could make all the products that we did in the summer, so all we got to do in the summer or winter is deliver and you know, just sell, it would be wonderful. But we aren't in the environment where we can do that, if you understand. And finally on your question, Nigel, the last part on wrapping, like, wouldn't it be easier for us not having to wrap stuff? Yes, you are quite right. It is a cost. The cost is also passed on to the customer. I can't sort of say all the trade secrets of why we do it completely, because you know that's sort of giving a bit too much away. But it is cost. It is hassle. We obviously have got a system that sorts out the hassle part of it. The cost does get passed on, so that's not really a problem. It's all priced in. But we do it as a part of the service, if that makes sense. Reasons, can't say, but we do it as part of the service. Jason Davies, you asked what I thought of the Cnervaland dishes or discs on their mower. Now, the Cnervaland disc, most discs are like almost like a rugby ball shape, if everyone understands me. Cnervaland have gotten for a circular disc on top. I can't see anything wrong with it. The turning circle as they turn, the overlap is just as good as anything else, and I'm guessing it's something like for deflecting foreign objects or helping grass flow, or something on that description. But the pod I would personally prefer would be the Vicon, because I found out at the same time that Vicon now on their, so Vicon on the only mower has three blades. So if everyone understands that when you're mowing, you usually get these little ever so slight lines almost looks like little veins left as the mower goes through on mowers with 2 blades. On the Viking, you don't get that because you've got that third blade. There's more time that the 3 blades are cutting opposed to the 2. If you think about a 2, there's always a fraction, we're talking hundreds of seconds on the rotation of the blade where they are full on straight, so they're not cutting so much. 3, you've always got less time of a blade out of work, so it leaves a better finish. And even better now that on the Viking and the Kubota, because the Kubota mower is basically an orange Viking, they've got easy change blades on them now. So even on that triangle system, you can get your little tool and you've got easy change blades, which I didn't know till at Llama this week, which is really interesting. But the only killer for me is I would like the contouring system off the big triples with basically the triangle 3-blade cutting bar of a Viking, and that could be a special mower. But we'll have to see what all these manufacturers do, because these straight mower beds, they aren't always adding a lot of extra technology to them. They leave them really simple, and hopefully in the not too distant future, these companies start adding their sort of contour flowing systems with single just cutter bars rather than, you know, conditioners, because that would be an awesome bit of kit. Oh, and Nigel, another thing on conditioning and bruising the plant, in the way it works, you can bring up and boost sugars, which is a thing. For our job, we don't want high sugar. Right, now I'm gonna get on with doing some other bits. Now we've had this catch up and answered a few questions. We're on the logs. It's what you call a sawhorse. Need to do a bit of an adjustment. But that is how I like to keep logs off the ground, so I can chop them off. No bending, no stress, no strain. Does a JCB handler smoking a cigar? Nothing to see here. This is a bit of a full team effort now. You're going to see a few of us all chipping and banding together. Farming families, good fun. So, this isn't the first lot that you saw getting split, this is the second lot. It's the next day after, because last night it got dark, but we managed to finish and clear up and everything in here. So, it's filling, which is always good, because it has been emptying quite a pace. Anyone that doesn't know why we are doing all the wood now for next winter is basically to let it season, because dry wood burns hotter and slower, wet wood burns colder and faster, just so you know. Anyway, this is just a short video because of Llama and everything. You had an extra video this week, lucky you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Alex will be in his first video next week. I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. If you haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Find us on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next week. Cheers.